mishaps on the two factory Hondas. But it's a Yamaha and the Suzuki ready to go as we drop the gate in Toronto. And it's going to be Michael Alessi getting the whole shot. Stewart sits in second. Reed is buried back in about fifth.
Reed's in fourth. He comes through fifth, yeah. Michael Alessi grabbing the whole shot. A Suzuki rider out front.
Reed now quickly picking up 2 spots as he gets around Andrew Short. That'll put him into third. And here goes Stewart for the lead. James Stewart gets around Alessi. And Reed comes after his teammate next. Alessi with a quick look over his shoulder. And Reed makes very quick work of him as Alessi goes wide and opens the door for his teammate.
So here we go, our 2 championship points leaders, 1 and 2 on the first lap. Who has the all-out speed? Who will make the least amount of mistakes? Who wants this championship more?
Ivan Tedesco just jumping his way through the rhythm section of the factory Honda, finds himself in third, right behind Reed. You see the gap, and look at Reed fighting to keep control of the Rockstar Makita Suzuki.
These riders so closely matched in lap times. Both riders incredibly fit. Wow, that was amazing!
Reed with a huge mistake, but he saves it.
What he just did, Ralph, was something no rider has done yet tonight. He almost made a mistake, but he's letting it all hang out.
Oh, man, Jeff, again, another bobble.
That's confidence. Chad Reed is absolutely going for it right now. He knows that if he can win tonight, mathematically, it would put him in a great position to win the championship. He does not want to let Stewart get any confidence and get on a string of wins.
Boy, Jeff, he's really struggling a little bit there. Reed, 2.9 seconds behind Stewart.
Stewart was a second, 1 second a lap faster than Reed that time, and Reed made that big mistake. Now watch, this is the section here. This is the replay where he triples on, but he goes too far and hits into that single at the end of the... Let's take a look at this. See, watch, the front wheel just makes it too far. I don't think he was counting on jumping that far.
What an incredible save, an incredible save of points, more importantly. You can see Stewart opening up a huge gap between the two. Stewart trying to lengthen out his lead at this stage. If Stewart can hold on and take the win here, that will tighten the points gap up if Reed can hold on for second to 8, moving on to Jacksonville. Here's the battle for third. It's behind Reed, a pair of the factory Hondas, the 29 of Andrew Short, the 9 of Tedesco, who makes a bobble of his own.
Well, here's Short. We have our championship points leaders 1 and 2. Short third in points, putting in a strong right here. Oh, he makes a mistake. That's going to allow Tedesco. Triples onto the tabletop. He closes right up on his teammate.
And coming in behind them is the Anaheim 1 winner on that Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha, the Toyota sponsor number 33 of Josh Grant. And Brock Hepler behind him on the number 60 Yamaha as well. There's Grant.
Look at Grant. Oh, Grant he hopped through the whoop section. Just incredible. Here it is to the inside.
He goes right after Tedesco. And Grant picks up the position. Josh Grant moves himself to fourth. Josh Grant pulled that huge victory in his rookie debut at Anaheim 1. Grant takes the first win of his career in his opening Supercross race. What a way to kick off a career.
I tell you, this track already here, just a few laps in, and this track is deteriorated. It's going to be really tough to jump these triple jumps. Here's Grant to the inside,
trying to battle with Andrew Short now. This is a battle for third.
Look how deep those ruts are, Ralph, and they still manage to apply the horsepower and jump that rhythm section the fastest way. We get past lap 10, if you can still jump that section, you are going to be rocking.
And Jeff, I got to believe lap traffic will become an issue here as well as this race moves on. We've also heard mechanics talking about tires possibly being an issue as this main event goes on because of the sharp rocks that are poking up. In fact, Ivan Tedesco had a flat tire during practice. And here comes Grant to the outside, almost bar to bar with Short. Through that rhythm. Oh, boy, look at Grant fighting to keep control of his Yamaha.
Just cross-threaded the front wheel, but look, he gathers himself back up. Still, there it is.
They almost made contact coming out of the corner. And it's the blue Yamaha moving to the front with Josh Grant on board. And look at how they have to fight through those ruts, Jeff, coming out of the corner.
Well, look who's not giving up at all. Here's the number 9 of Ivan Tedesco.
Tedesco back to the back section of the number 29 of his stablemate, Andrew Short. Tedesco has a pair of fourth-place finishes already this year at Anaheim 3 and at Phoenix. Looking to see if he can get on the podium maybe for the first time this year.
Look at the battle route. This is here. This is for the podium. There goes Tedesco. He's on the outside, though. He's going to have to carry some momentum and make it stick somewhere.
There it is. That'll put him into fourth. Tedesco, one spot away from a podium finish, his first of the year, if he can pull it off. And Brock Hepler coming along as well into this mix.
There he goes. Hepler exiting the turn.
Hepler coming alongside his Short. And he fights through that rhythm section, can't keep control. And Josh Hill now on the 75 Yamaha. He wants in on this battle. He comes to the inside of Hepler. Look at how he sits to the back of that motorcycle, getting all the weight he can on that rear wheel, trying to help the drive out of the corner.
Here's Hill around the outside.
He's got Hepler, and he gets Short.
He excels on the track like this. Josh Hill just really moving right now. He's looking at moving past some of the top Supercross riders in the world.
That'll put Josh Hill into fifth, and he is right now in his best finishing position of the year.
Hill just flying right now, and this is one of those tracks where you don't have to be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect. Hill just has a rhythm that's really hard to find here, and he is just holding the throttle on, going with the flow, carrying tons of momentum. He had an excellent lap time last time around, a 53.
Brock Hepler, you saw him on the number 60. He runs in 7th right now. And Andrew Short struggling a little bit tonight, Jeff. Third of the points, but Short has slipped back to 6th. Seeing his opportunity to finish on the podium slipping out of his grasp.
You see Short here, he seems to be shaken right now. He's dropped a couple positions. He was up into the 3rd, but...
Meanwhile, James Stewart out front, just under a 4-second lead over Chad Reed, trying to regain some points in this tremendous battle for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross FIM Championship. We'll be right back to Toronto, Ontario, Canada for more of the main event. Stewart continuing the lead here in Toronto. Chad Reed, 4.5 seconds behind now in 2nd place. Doing everything he can to catch him, but Jeff, not everything has been perfect for the former winner here in Toronto, James Stewart.
Watch this replay here. Stewart gets off the side, catches the tough lock, and the left foot peg catches the tough lock cover, manages to keep it on 2 wheels. And this is that type of night where you're going to have those situations, but it has not affected James Stewart one bit, as he's now 4.7 seconds ahead of Reed and was a couple tenths of a second faster that last lap around.
Stewart trying to get his 9th win of the season here tonight.
And I cannot stress how easy these guys are making this look, because riding this track at this level, at this pace that Stewart is throwing down right now, there's so much work that goes into that.
Aaron, it's been an impressive night so far for James Stewart.
That's for sure. Well, guys, we can't comment on it enough how much this track has deteriorated throughout the day. All of those rocks are finally sifted to the very top, and as they come by the mechanics area, the mechanics are getting absolutely blasted and pelted pelted with all these pebbles. Some of them are even wearing sets of goggles down here, but you're going to notice some of the riders are wearing hand guards and also chest protectors. For the ones that aren't this evening, they're going to look like they've gone through a war zone by the time this main event is through.
Jeff, what does that feel like when you get hit with those rocks?
Yeah, a shotgun blast pretty much, you know. And I'm telling you, Stewart, though, he's not running any hand guards. You can see up there in his gloves. And that's a rider that said, I'm not going to have to worry about these hand guards. I'm going to be out front. But the problem is that they are getting into the lapped riders very quickly right now. And as he moves past the lapped riders, that's Nathan Ramsey on the Toyota Yamaha that he just moves past. Nathan sitting in 14th. So now Stewart all the way up inside of the top 14. And he really has put on a great ride here. And that's his teammate. He's trying to make his way around. You see Chisholm having all kinds of problems. But Stewart just keeps the throttle on and just picks his way through. There's nobody that makes moves on the bike like James does. He is so quick on the bike, and he anticipates things. It's pretty cool watching him ride, I'm telling you. And this is a tough track, and he's doing what he has to do to keep this championship in play. Stewart has to win out, you know, mathematically to guarantee the championship.
Talked with James's father, Big James, earlier today about the pressure that is on his son, and I asked him how James was taught to deal with pressure. He said, you know, you really can't teach them. He said, but in the very beginning of his career, James wouldn't get good starts, and he would fall way back, and so he learned how to deal coming through the pack quickly.
Yeah, well, here's some pressure on Chad Reed as he's been really trying hard to catch our leader. That's him through the finish line area there, and just, I'm telling you, he's not giving up. He's 7.5 seconds behind, but right now, James Stewart really has got that. Well, that's Hepler that's down as Reed laps him, but Reed has been really giving it his all, but Stewart has been cleaner in that position. In the beginning part of the race, Reed and Stewart were trading off fast laps. One rider would be half a second faster. The next time around, it would be the other rider. But being in second, Chad just really was putting it on, but just too many mistakes here. It's dropped him back about 7 seconds. Now you can see he's really toned it down. He says, okay, second could be good enough here tonight.
Well, it's going to save him some points because he will be, if he can finish second to Stewart tonight, he will be just 8 points in front of Stewart with 4 races remaining. Jacksonville, Seattle, Salt Lake City, and Las Vegas. And it looks like no matter what, Jeff, this championship fight will go to the very end at Sanford Stadium.
There's no doubt about it. This is Josh Hill we're taking a look at, who has been on the gas tonight. He has wheelied past everybody except Stewart and Reed to get up into a podium position. Getting back to those points, you get 25 for first, 22 for second. So it's basically a 3-point difference between first and second. This for our championship leaders, that's what it's all about, is getting those 3 points.
This will be Hill's first podium finish of the year, and the first time he's even been in the top 5 this season, if he can hang on. Battle for 6 is a good one. Davey Millsaps, Kevin Windham, a couple of Honda riders, and Windham on the 14 with a great move to the inside of number 18 of Davey Millsaps. The Geico Power Sports back entry of Kevin Windham just in front of that Red Bull factory fight of Millsaps, and boy is Davey fighting it.
Well, Davey likes riding on that loose edge there, and tonight you get a real taste of it. Look, there's even deep ruts going into the turn, not just the acceleration section of the turn, but actually going in. And you can see how it's really tough to jump up on that to triple onto that little tabletop. You see how they're just creeping through here and then trying to get a run to the triple, really having to set up just to complete that section. Wow, Windham is on the gas. He really has came out of nowhere to put himself up into 6th position.
Such a smooth rider, Kevin Windham.
Windham was 15th on the first lap. Millsap was 16th, so these riders have came through the pack, 10 positions. This is a tough night to do that on.
Just having to pick his way through. Back to the front, and James Stewart. Jeff, so much pressure on James to win this championship. James is one of those riders, one of those athletes who second in the championship, which a lot of people think is going to be great. is not at all acceptable in his mind.
No, it's all about winning the championship, and for James, he really has to take it week for week here. And step one here with 5 races to go, 11 points down, was not to think about Las Vegas, is to think about and maximize the points here. That's by winning, okay? Stewart has put on phenomenal rides so far. You can see him really being able to take it easy. You don't want to back it down too much here because you don't want to lose your focus and make a mistake, okay? One step at a time for James Stewart. He has to win here, then Jacksonville, and so on and so on. Right now, he has done what Allah has asked of him.
His mechanic, Oscar, cheering him on. It sure looks like Stewart being very smart about how he's approaching these last couple of laps, not giving himself a chance to make a mistake.
Well, yeah, he's going to back it down into a comfortable zone, but this is a nice position to be in on a difficult track like this. The last thing you want to do is have to ride the final lap bar to bar for the win, you know. Right now, he can really pick his way through. See him just coasting through some of these turns, and that's because he's got a 10-second lead over Chad Reed. He's going to pick up 3 points here tonight if he can make it through the checkered flag.
And this is the last controlled environment, if you will, of the season, the last Dome Stadium.
Yeah, we
on
go
to Jacksonville next week. We could see rain there potentially. Certainly in Seattle, it's a question. In Salt Lake City, we could even see some snow, which has been seen there in the past for Supercross.
Well, and then when you come down to it with 1 lap to go here, you come down to it, Vegas is a very difficult track in a totally different way because it's hard pack, blue groove. That's a tough track to race for the championship on. I lived it. It really is a nightmare. So either one of these riders, they want to have a little cushion going into the last race, but I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. This championship between 2 of our sport's greatest champions of all time, 3rd and 4th winningest racers. I mean, we expect nothing but a battle right to the final checkered flags.
James Stewart on that San Manuel Yamaha, working his way around on the final lap, doing everything he can to tighten up this tremendous points chase that we've seen all year long on the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship Trail. Stewart really just almost walking his way through, Jeff.
And this one's going to feel good here.
And here he comes to the final corner. James Stewart has done it.